please, I want Grealish to start. I want Sancho to start. That was probably one of the worst games I've ever seen. He's probably the best midfielder in the world. Gareth Southgate ain't the guy to take England forward. Yes guys, welcome back to my channel. This is the 4th episode of the Chinwag podcast. In today's episode, the second round of fixtures after every team now has played 2 games in the Euros group stage. Let's get into the video. So the first game was between Italy and Switzerland in Group A. Italy dominated the ball. They looked very dangerous on every single attack. Jorginho and Locatelli dominated the midfield again, with Barella getting forward. Locatelli got both the goals. One from a very good run into the box, late run into the box, and nice finish, just a tap in really. The second was a nice long range strike with his weaker foot, which deflected slightly off the Swiss defender and found the bottom corner. Jan Sommer couldn't really do anything about that. The Swiss had more possession than the Italians, but every time the Italians went forward, they looked like scoring. Switzerland up top, they couldn't really find a final ball. The middle third was really good, but up to the final third, they couldn't find any passes, especially in the opposition box, where most games are won and lost. Swiss need to finish their chances. They need to create more. That is the problem that Petkovic has, really. He's been there for a very long time now. The main problem is scoring goals, not build-up play, because they have very good build-up play with the likes of Rodriguez at left wing-back, Shaqiri, they've got Xhaka who can control the game, and Barbu in the right wing-back position. But their problem is scoring goals. They only scored 1 against Wales, which was Embolo, and they failed to score against Italy. So if they want to get through, between them and Turkey is a very, very tough game to call. The second game in Group A was Wales against Turkey. This was Wales' second game in Baku. The Turkish fans travelled to Azerbaijan this time to make a good atmosphere. The game was high energy, high paced. Ramsey had 2 big chances to score, but he failed to score both of them. But the third time he had a chance with the Bale assist over the top, he managed to finish. Bale's penalty, that was shocking. Over the bar, at least get it on target. If you got it on target and the keeper saves it, so be it. But that was not a great penalty. But he did make it up with the assist for Connor Roberts at the very last minute to score to secure the 2-0 win against Turkey. But overall, Wales played really well. Kiefer Moore again impressed. At the start of the tournament, it was a debate whether he should start up top for Wales or not, or whether they should have played a false 9 with Bale as the false 9, or Ramsey as the false 9. Turkey did okay. Yilmaz had a chance which got deflected wide, and Cengiz Under had a chance where he volleyed it quickly from outside the box, where Danny Ward comfortably saved it from his Leicester teammate from last season. But apart from that, Turkey didn't really impress. As I said previously, Switzerland-Turkey is a really important game because whoever gets the win could go as the 3rd place team. In Group B, Russia played Finland. Pohan Parlow's goal was disallowed just offside. That was very unlucky. He's at the moment in very good form for Finland. He scored in their first game and he nearly scored again, but it was very close for offside. Urinen did a really good block to stop the Russians from scoring. Golovin played quite well. He was non-existent against Belgium, so he did really well to come back into the game and try and dominate the game. Miranchuk scored just before half-time for Russia, which was really important for them to go into the break. Good feet from him and a good finish in the top corner. He did really well to slot that away. Russia need to take their chances. They had so many chances against Finland, but couldn't finish them. Going forward in the tournament, they will need to take those chances to progress. The next game in Group B was Belgium against Denmark. In the 10th minute, the refs stopped the game, so everyone could applaud Christian Eriksen. He's now been discharged from hospital, which is very, very good news. Belgium showed resilience to come back from 1-0 down. They're the first team to win in the whole of the Euros after being behind first. There was a poor pass from Denier to Tielemans, got intercepted. Poulsen tucked it away nicely. That was very sloppy at the back. They were just too relaxed, I think. Denier didn't really look up. Tielemans didn't know there was a man behind him. And Poulsen did tuck it away nicely, so they did well there. Belgium did well to come back. De Bruyne came on. He changed the game for them. Incredible assist for the first goal. A brilliant strike for the second goal with his weaker foot. He can change the game, and it ended 2-1 to Belgium. I thought Lukaku would score again. He's already got 2 against Russia, so he didn't score. But De Bruyne is back. Hopefully Hazard can find some form soon for them, and I think they'll go really far in the tournament. It only took De Bruyne about 9 minutes to impact the game. He's probably the best midfielder in the world. Let me know who you think is the best midfielder in the world in the comments down below. In Group C, the next game was Ukraine against North Macedonia. Ukraine won 2-1. Yarmolenko scored a goal from a very tight angle, which he did really well for. And then he got the assist for the Yaremchuk goal, which was very good too. Alioski scored, but from a rebounded penalty that he missed, which was good for them. Pandev got a goal which was offside, which was unfortunate because he's a legend and he deserves everything he gets for that country. He's done really well for them over all those years when they haven't qualified. He's been their only star player. There was a nice turn from Zinchenko, a roulette at the edge of the box. Ukraine played well. I think I underestimated Ukraine at the very start of the tournament, but I think they're a better side than I thought. Andrei Shevchenko has done well with that team. They got good players like Yarmolenko, Zinchenko, Yaremchuk up top. Dimitrievski from North Macedonia, who's the keeper, he saved a Malinowski penalty. He made a few good saves in the game. He played well. Unfortunate to be on the losing side, but I thought Ukraine deserved to win with the chances they had. Next game in Group C was Netherlands against Austria. A big talking point from this game was David Alaba played at centre-back this time instead of playing left wing. I think he's their best player, so you might as well have him up the field, but I understand why the Austrian manager put him at centre-back to deal with the likes of Depay, Weghorst and so on. Austria didn't really look like they had a plan. Alaba did give away the penalty though. I think it was a penalty. Depay tucked it away nicely, and Marlon came off the bench to get the assist for Dumfries' goal. He was very unselfish. He could have taken it on himself, but he just slotted it across to Dumfries, who tucked it away nicely. As a right wing back, that's his second goal of the tournament in this Euros, so he's doing really well. He started from non-league in Netherlands and now he's one of the star players for the Netherlands, especially this tournament. So hopefully he can continue that kind of form for them. Austria have good players like Sabitzer, Alaba, Arnautovic was suspended, but they didn't really seem to have a plan. I don't know, they just didn't really know what they were doing. You can see Netherlands had patterns of play that they were doing. Austria didn't really, they just passed it around at the back, knocked it long and hoped for the best. In England's group, Croatia played Czech Republic, and I thought Croatia were quite unlucky to concede that penalty. Lovren was just jumping for the ball. You have to use your arms, otherwise how are you going to jump? He did elbow Schick in the face, but that being a penalty, then so many penalties would be given, like 4 or 5 penalties would be given during a game, which is so pointless. That needs to be checked out. I think VAR is good, but you need to look at the situations. It's depending on each situation. Not every situation is the same, and that was nowhere near a penalty. But it was tucked away nicely by Schick, who had blood dripping down from his face whilst he was about to take it. So he had to go get that sorted out after. Perisic equalised quite early on in the second half. Nice cut in from the left-hand side and smacked it top bins. Keeper could have done a bit better, but the power on it I think beat him. It was a very good finish from them. Croatia have been a bit disappointing, losing to England, drawing with the Czechs. It will be an interesting game between them and Scotland in the final game to see who could possibly get third and maybe go through as one of the best third place teams. Right, moving on to England's game. That was probably one of the worst games I've ever seen England play. It was absolutely shocking. Scotland deserved to win probably. They just couldn't finish their chances. Gilmour in the midfield, he was absolutely unreal. How old is he? 20 years old, and he's performing like that in a major tournament. First start for Scotland as well. Callum McGregor and Stuart Armstrong played well. McTominay played well at the back. Scotland played very well. They created the better chances. O'Donnell had a volley that Pickford saved. Mings cleared it off the line. Stones did hit the post though, but he was clearly in a free space. So he had a free header 6 yards out and he hits the post, which was very disappointing. Sterling, I saw a clip that he could have passed to Reece James on the right wing like 4, 5, 6 times, but then in the last minute, but then he went down for a penalty. It could have been a penalty, but I don't actually think it was. England didn't deserve anything coming out of that game. Gareth Southgate ain't the guy to take England forward. He's not good. Not good at all. I don't even know what England's tactics are. But why are you playing the same exact front three? Kane's been very disappointing. I don't know if he's fit. Is he fit? Who knows? Gareth Southgate is not the guy. I'm telling you, he's not the guy to take England forward. I might actually do a podcast, because that's the whole podcast in itself, on who should be the next England manager. So let me know who you want to have on for that podcast. Maybe Warren, maybe someone else on my channel. But look on the bright side. If we finish second in the group, we'll have an easier run to the final like we did in Russia. We'll see though. We'll see. We've got Czech Republic next. They look like a decent side with the 2 West Ham boys, Kufal and Souček. They got Schick up top, who's great, who's really banging form at the moment. Darido in midfield. Thomas Callas at the back, who's an ex-Chelsea, now playing for Bristol City. as well. They have Yankto, who can put in a good cross, to be fair to him. He's got a good whip on him. But we'll see what happens between England and Czech Republic. Please, I want Grealish to start. I want Sanchos to start. Foden to start. Maybe we should drop a few players. Rice didn't really have his best game. To be fair, I thought Pickford, I thought he would have a clanger in him. And I picked Dean Henderson, but I know he's injured now. Pickford played really well. He came up big for England when we really needed him to. But overall, that was a poor performance from the boys. Is it coming home? I don't know now. But hopefully, if we do finish second in the group, we are second in the group as it stands at the moment. So if we draw against the Czechs, if we do finish second, we'll definitely face a weaker team. Because if we win the group, we'll face Group F, which is Germany, Portugal and France. And we don't want to be really facing any of those teams so early. Sweden against Slovakia in Group E. Sweden won 1-0 against the Slovaks this time. Alexander Isak from Sociedad played really well. He's really improved since his move from Dortmund to Sociedad. He didn't really get many chances at Dortmund. Maybe he was a bit too young for that move at that time. But he's really blossomed at Sociedad. And now he's doing really well. For a big man, he's got really good feet. He was class for them on the day. Dubravka made a few good saves, but then he messed up with the penalty when he gave the penalty away. And Forsberg slotted away nicely. Although Slovakia, I think, were unlucky to lose, they didn't have any shots on target. Robin Olsen made a good save from one of the shots, but it was ruled out for offside. Apart from that, he didn't have much to do. So I do think Sweden deserved to win, but Slovakia were unlucky to lose. It was an even game, so it could have gone either way. If it wasn't for the Dubravka mistake that he gave away the penalty, then obviously it would have been a draw. So the next game in Group E was Spain against Poland. Spain dominated the ball with about 76% possession. Morata scored a good poacher's finish from a Gerard Moreno cross, low ball, maybe it was a shot cross. Morata did prove me wrong. He did manage to score a poacher's finish, which I didn't think he was capable of. To be fair, his Spanish record, I think, is 20 goals in 46 games. So it's a very good international record. So he did really well there to finish that and put Spain 1-0 up. Poland were unlucky not to equalise when they hit the post, and Lewandowski followed up with a rebound shot. But Unai Simon did well to close the angle and close the gap between himself and the ball. So it was a good save in the end. Lewandowski equalised for Poland. He came up big for them. A good cross from the right-hand side. He climbed it all over Laporte. Laporte wasn't strong enough, and he headed it home in the bottom corner. So that was a really good finish from Lewandowski there to equalise. He's a man in great form. He was a top scorer in the Bundesliga this season, breaking the record. He did really well to overcome Laporte's presence there. And yeah, he equalised and they were back in the game. A big talking point towards the end of the game was obviously the penalty. Moda committed the foul on Gerard Moreno. I don't know if it was a foul. It was a bit harsh. A bit yes and no, 50-50. So it was an unlucky decision from Poland, but lucky from Spain. But it never mattered anyway. Moreno hit the post. Morata couldn't finish the rebound. And it ended 1-1. As I said before, Spain need to finish their chances if they want any chance of winning the Euros. Poland did well to come back. I think Spain will be unhappy, but Poland will be definitely happier, the two teams, as they came back from a goal down. Belgium are the only team to recover from losing to win in the tournament so far. Let's see how that continues. I thought France would win quite convincingly. I didn't think Hungary would put up much of a fight, but to be fair to them, in the early stages of the game, they pressed high, they were super aggressive, tackles flying from every different angle you could find. It helped with Hungary as they scored just before half-time in added time in the first half. Fiola scored. Varane didn't play too well in the first half, really. He looked very uncomfortable in certain situations. Pavard didn't play too well. They swapped out Hernandez and put Digne in, which isn't much of a level drop because I think Digne's got a really good cross on him. Nothing really happened for France, really. It was Varane's fault for the goal. He committed himself too much to the attacker. He should have let the attacker have the ball and then drop off instead of just trying to commit himself fully to the ball. And Pavard didn't play well on that side either. So maybe Deschamps needs to change things a bit with Léa Dubois as a backup right back who had a really good season for Lyon. Overall, France, they obviously would dominate the game. Griezmann missed a sitter in the first half, but he managed to get a poacher's finish in the second, which I thought then France would go on to win. But Hungary stayed firm. I think France maybe should have had a penalty at the end. Let me know in the comments down below whether you think they should have or not. But I think they should have. It was a great kick from Lloris from the corner. Adam Nagy from Bristol City, he didn't really deal with the long ball too well. Mbappe latched onto it, crossed it in, deflected off a defender, and Griezmann tucked it away nicely. But France have Portugal next with a big crunch game to see who can finish top. As I'm filming this part of the video, it's between the Hungary and France game and the Portugal-Germany game. So obviously Portugal and Germany, as I'm filming this, haven't played. So I think Portugal will win 1-0. I don't think Germany will have any bite up top. I haven't seen the starting 11s yet, but they've got Werner, and I don't really know who else can really finish for them. But Portugal, I think they'll win 1-0. They've got good defence with Diaz, Pepe, Guerrero, and Semedo at the back. And they got a good attack as well. So I think Portugal will win 1-0. Future Ali, let's see how I've done in the prediction. So, future me, I was very wrong about the Portugal-Germany score. I thought it would be 1-0 in a cagey game. It was anything but that. From kickoff, Germany dominated the ball. In about the 4th, 5th minute, Goossens had a goal disallowed. Gnabry was just offside. That was very unlucky. Then Portugal took the lead through Ronaldo. It was a great ball by Bernardo Silva over the top to Jota. Unselfishly passed it to Ronaldo for one of those sweaty goals. I guarantee you, if Ronaldo was in that same position, he would not have done the same as Jota, and he would have just shot. But thankfully for Ronaldo, Jota was very unselfish and squared it to him there. The first goal for Germany was a Ruben Diaz own goal. Goossens smashed it across the box. Diaz couldn't really react in time, just like Hummels against France, where Hernandez smashed it across the box. Again, from a tight angle, from the other side for the second goal, Kimmich smashed it across the box. Guerrero couldn't really react in time as well. He tried to clear it as there was a German player in the box, but he just kicked it into the goal for another own goal. That was 2 own goals for Portugal. The third goal for Germany was a Goossens cross to a Havertz tap-in. So Goossens was involved in everything that was good for Germany. He played really well compared to the first game. The wing-back was so crucial compared to against France. They did so much more. I think Joachim Low changed the system where they just played it out wide and smashed crosses into the box. The fourth goal was a Kimmich cross. Goossens headed it in. That was a great goal. Great team goal as well. Again, the 2 wing-backs combining with each other to create something for the Germans there. Then from a free kick, Ronaldo snuck in from the back post, lobbed it over Neuer, and then Jota smashed it in from literally about 1 yard. It was game on from there, with Portugal losing 4-2 at that point. Renato Sanchez from outside the box, 20-25 yards, smashed it, hit the post. What a strike that was. That was about 8 minutes to go, I think. And that would have been such a good end to the game if Renato Sanchez had pulled it back to about 4-3. Unfortunately for Portugal, they couldn't do it. And it'll be interesting now with Hungary playing Germany. I think Germany will win that. And then Portugal and France is a very big game, with France drawing to Hungary as well. So that wraps up the 4th episode of the Chinwag podcast. All the teams have played 2 games each, with 1 game to go. And all the teams in the group will play at the same time. If you enjoyed that episode, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you later for more.